Hello, welcome to Cadillac Cooking Part 2. Today I'm going to show you how to make homemade buttermilk biscuits. Now, I'm not exactly the pro at this, but I think I'm getting better and better every time, honey. But I'm going to start off with 2.5 cups of self-rising flour. And normally I use white lily flour because it's lighter. But today, what happened was my sister bought me 3 bags of flour. You know why? Because people were panicking over the coronavirus. And they were going to buy up all everything. It was in the grocery store was gone. So we were like short on flour around here. I said, well, if you see flour, just bring me some. So she said, this is all I had, honey. And it wasn't white lily. But you know what? It'll serve the same purpose. 2.5 cups is 2.5 cups. Now I must say, white lily does have a fluffier, lighter biscuit because it's some wheat flour. But we're gonna make do with what we have with this sunflower. I think it's sunflower flour, no name brand, like my aunt said, no name brand flour. But we're not gonna worry about the name brand today because all we want is a good biscuit to put a piece of sausage on in the morning time. So we're gonna fold that up, and it's very simple. I got a mess going on here, but we'll clean that off as you go. It's very simple. All you need is 2.5 cups of flour. I'm gonna add like a teaspoon of baking powder, more than a teaspoon of baking powder, only because I like mine to be a little lighter. That's all. You really don't need this since you have self-rising flour, but I like mine a little taller, a little bigger. And it's unsalted, so I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. About a half a teaspoon of salt as well. And I'll tell you what I'm going to put in mine as well. I'm going to go over here and get my sugar. I guess you said she loved to put sugar in everything she do, but you know what? Sugar just offsets salt. That's all it does. So I'm gonna take me probably the same amount of salt or sugar and put it in here because it just offsets the salt. Some people can taste salt a lot. I don't really, but what you're gonna do is you're going to mix your flour and baking powder and salt together in this bowl. You get your little bowl and you just mix it up together. My sister said, we can't see you making everything. Now, they told me to take my braces out because I be clanking and clanking and clanking. That's all they hear when I'm cooking. It's the clanking of the braces. So I'm going to take my jewelry off. My hands are clean. I'm going to take all my jewelry off. Well, my rings and things. So I'm just going to stir this around real good, this flour real well. And then that's it, basically. We got to put this stick of butter in here, and I'm not gonna do the whole stick. I'm gonna do probably 3/4 of the stick, and it's good and cold. You need good cold butter, and you need to get your grater. I'm doing my grandmama's grater right here, so if it looks old, that's because it is. And the good things have made good things out of this grater here, so I'm gonna use the big side and grate this butter into, this whole stick of butter into this mixture of flour and salt and sugar and baking powder. That's all it is. I'm going to keep doing this. And it does get sort of hard sometimes because your arms be hurt or whatever. And, but you tend to work it out. You can work it out. And it's depending on how buttery you want your biscuits. You got to get little shreds of butter in all of it. So I'm gonna do this till it's almost gone, which it is. And I think I'm gonna stop right there. I think that's enough, really. To be honest with you, they say a whole stick of butter, but that's a lot of butter. And with it in the little jars like it is, it's just a lot of butter. So we're gonna go with what we have. And I'm just gonna mix that flour up with that butter and get it all chopped up in here. Sometimes people I used to use a pastry cutter and cut the butter up in here. But I found out over the years it's just not necessary, it's too much work. It's easier to just do it like this. Once you find something good, you stick to it. You can find a recipe that you like. Just stick to it and keep at it till you make it your own or whatever. It's cooking. It's not that hard. Okay. So now they tell you, I'm gonna tell you what you do with this. Now I need me a cup of buttermilk, one whole cup of buttermilk, and I'm gonna take the buttermilk and stick it down in this hole. I done made me a little well. I'll pour that buttermilk over there, and you might need some more. Just have to do it by sight and see how your mixture look. But I pour that buttermilk over here in the well with the flour. I'm gonna set this to the side. And you just mix that buttermilk with the cold butter and the cold buttermilk and the flour. You mix it together. You don't want to mix it too much. They say turn about 15, 17 times. You know, it's like somebody see her counting. But I'm not going to do that. But you want the consistency to look like just get it from the sides to look like some bad mashed potatoes. That's what you do. Some bad old mashed potatoes. That's what you want. And I'm gonna pour a little bit more buttermilk in here because I just don't like the way that looks. Because you can always add more flour. If it get too wet, you can always add more flour. You better believe that. And that's the consistency. It looks like mashed potatoes. Like old mashed potatoes. I'm just getting it from the side, scraping it up over on top of my pan, trying to get all the good off the sides. Putting it on all the good off the sides. That's what I'm doing. Okay, I think that's worked up enough. And it's sticky. It'll be sticky on your hands. So if you don't want to get messed up, this ain't what you want. Okay? If you don't want to get your hands messy, this is not what you want. We're going to take a little bit of this flour, and I'm going to use this, my cutting board. Take my hand in here and put some flour on everything. Put some flour on my cutting, on my rolling pin. Got to put flour on the rolling pin. You're going to put flour everywhere. Just put flour everywhere. Put it all over the board. Okay? It ain't going to hurt now. Put it on your hands. And then you're going to turn this here dough off on this board. Okay? Just turn it out. That's what you do. You're going to turn this old wet dough, ugly wet dough, over on the board. That's what you're going to do. And then you're going to shape around in the ball. You're going to shape around in the ball. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Since my sister said that, I'm going to see this over here, that she can never see what I'm doing. Look at it. So we poured it out on this. And I'm just going to turn around on here. You do it real light. You do it real light. Because that's a big ball of dough right there. You just turn it and you squeeze it a little bit. And you turn it and you squeeze it a little bit. And I like to just drop it on there. Drop it like it's hot. Put it on there. Yeah, buddy. See how it takes shaping into that ball right there? I just pick it up and turn it. And put some flour on top of it. And pick it up and turn it. Put some flour on top of it. And you just make it into a little ball. Make it into a little ball. Look at the head on it. And you just pat them. That's what I do. And I don't work them too much. And I let them be like that. Okay? And I'm going to take me a minute here. And I'm going to start rolling the dough. That's what I'm going to do. It's a little wet, but it's all right. Put a little more flour because it's a little more wet. And put a little flour on there. So what we're going to do is, then I'm going to roll it up. Roll it up. I'm going to roll it one roll, roll it the next way, roll it the next way. And you'd be surprised then what you do is you get layers in your biscuit. You pick up the dough and you fold it over. And I'm just going to pat it out. I ain't going to roll it out. I'm just going to pat it out. And then pick up that dough and roll it up. I ain't saying it ain't messy, honey. It's a messy job, but somebody got to